the basting. Now taking my meat that's been lying in the salt. I'm scraping off the excess salt just to ensure it's not too salty. I'm going to now baste that meat. But before I do that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of bicarb to the apple cider mix. This is just to ensure that during the drying process there's no mold. So the bicarb acts as a agent to ensure no mold grows. Obviously, you've got to take into consideration the drying conditions, the climate that you're making this product in. So I baste with a basting brush, put on liberal amounts of my apple cider mix. Once I've done that, I just shake the excess off. Let's get rid of too much vinegar. You don't want your meat remaining with the vinegar taste, so I shake off. And then you can use a sprinkling jar, or a spice sprinkling jar. I just shake some spice onto it, shake off the excess, pick it up on the other side, and do the same on both sides. I've also added black pepper to this mix, to this grind, which I didn't show on the video, but there's black pepper as well. So my mix is coriander, chili, fennel seed, and black pepper. Once I've coated it, I'm going to put the hooks in to hang the meat, and it's going into a dryer. Before I hang it, I'm going to weigh the meat, record the initial weight, because we want our meat to, depending on how dry you want it, I like my meat fairly wet, so I allow for about 40% loss in moisture. It gives me a good soft meat. But if you like it dry, you'll wait for probably 50 to 60% loss before you start getting real dry biltong. So into the dryer, it's just a case with an extractor and a halogen light. I've now hung all my pieces, all coated with the same spice. Right. We now move on to the meat has been hanging for 7 days. I apologize, this meat was only hanging for 4 days because I wanted it fairly wet. I have now prepared a plate with some seeded bread, some honeycomb cheese, which we picked up at a farmer's market fairly recently. There goes my biltong, nice and dry but still soft in the middle. Some dried mango pieces, and who doesn't have a game of rugby with some crisps, and of course an ice cold beer to accompany it. Now for the game. There we are, running out onto the field. South Africa versus France in the quarterfinal of the World Cup Rugby.